Welcome back to Exposing Human Trafficking. I'm going to drop a link of a video from Fight Club, Marla, in the description box below. This really pisses me off. It just shows more and more of how disgusting and backstabbing Brad Pitt is. For those of you that are new and don't know, because the sexual abuse that began in my life started at 3, I wasn't able or safe enough to develop like a normal child should. And I came down with multiple personality disorder. Some of the personalities knew each other, some didn't. It was a mess. Marla is one of my alter personalities. My stepfather, George Bermuda Sr., retired school teacher of the bilingual program of the Board of Education of New York, was a raging alcoholic, and he was raping me every day. I worked second shift. This was in the early 90s. I had my degree in communication so that I could go and have a career, but the Satanists in Hollywood ruined that. And I had to go to Tampa, Florida. And there were no jobs in my field. I tried to get jobs, but couldn't get them in communications. And so it was hard because I had a degree, and a lot of places wouldn't hire you because you were overqualified. And then there was a recession, and there weren't a lot of jobs. So I worked second shift. That was all I could find, and it was part-time. That's all there was. And during the day, I would clean the house and do the laundry and cook the food so that when my younger brother and sister came home, there was everything they needed. My mom was working. She didn't care that my stepfather was drinking every day, heavily. She didn't care about me. She knew he had been abusing me since I was a little girl, and she wouldn't leave him for anything because he had money. And he had just bought her that house in Florida. Bought her a car. She was going to leave him. I had called the cops on him a few times, but the cops wouldn't do anything because I was over 21. They told me to move out, which I couldn't. And I couldn't leave my younger brother and sister because my stepfather said that if he didn't rape me and make movies with me, which there's plenty of incest porn with me in it, and he would prostitute me out to this disgusting Mexican that lived across the street and make him do porn for citizenship. That's what happens with illegals. They get caught up in this ring. But that guy turned out to be just as disgusting because he brought his 2 daughters over so that my stepfather would molest them and turn them into witches. But luckily my stepfather was gone by then. And so every day they were doing these rapes and orgies, and my stepbrother would come every once in a while and make films, and they would take me around Tampa and make more films and cars and hotel rooms. I was psychologically broken, and I kept switching different altars to deal with the situation. There were no places to go. There was no human trafficking shelter. There was no domestic violence shelter. There was nothing. I don't even think there was a homeless shelter. And so Brad Pitt, the human trafficking, doting boyfriend, pretending to be a Christian, who was really a Satanist, listening on my therapy sessions with my doctors as they tried to put me back together, while unbeknownst to us allowing my disgusting human trafficking older stepbrother George Bermudez Jr. to listen into the sessions, decided to take my pain and turn them into Marla from Fight Club. I had really long hair, and I had dyed it red. And my stepfather, he kept touching my hair, running his fingers through my hair, saying how beautiful it was and how pretty I was, and that my mom had become some fat slob. He used to call her a refrigerator with feet on, because what my mom would do to avoid having conjugal visits with him is she would sit up and watch television all night and eat. She ended up with diabetes because all she would do is eat. And she was very fat. I was so disgusted. He would kiss me on the mouth and rape me. And he would tell me that he was getting me ready for a husband, and that I needed to get married so that I could enjoy that every night. It was so gross. I didn't want that ever, let alone every night. Now, it doesn't mean that I turned out to be some ice princess, which is what Brad used to say he was afraid I turned into. No. I have had boyfriends, and I've made love to them, and I've had sex with them, and it's been good. But I didn't want to be with my stepfather. It was disgusting. And the little pig sometimes would be like trying to teach me things about the body. I already had sex ed class in high school. I didn't need to learn this. I already studied biology. But I couldn't do anything, because he said if he didn't rape me, he was going to rape my younger brother, who was 15, or my younger sister, that she was about 19, 20 years old. So I couldn't deal with it anymore, and I went and I chopped my hair off, like Marla's. And then I dyed it black, like Marla. My stepfather would bring men. And they would give him $20. I never got the money. My stepfather had a man putting in tile. They ripped out all the rugs and they were putting ceramic tile, and he was paying the man daily. And one day he didn't have any cash on him, and he offered me to the man as payment. Thankfully, the man was really nice and said, "No, I'll just get paid tomorrow in cash. Thank you." But he was treating me like a commodity. And in therapy, I would cry about this, about what was going on. And I remember one day saying, "Daddy's trying to teach me this, and what's going to happen when I do get married one day? Am I going to say I haven't been eaten out or fucked like that since grade school?" And Brad took that, and he put it in Fight Club. He took my pain that he caused. Because remember, Brad Pitt was supposed to be my fiancé. He was supposed to be the one to protect me. And he was the one who handed me over to this human trafficking, satanic, pedophile, sick, criminal coven. And he knew what it was all about, because he was already friends with my older stepbrother. That's what the human trafficking boyfriend does. And that's what Brad Pitt did to me. Marla was very suicidal, so was I. I had a bottle of Valium. It was so bad that doctors had to give me Valium. And I was hoarding them to take them all at once and finish this nightmare. I was going to drink them with some wine, just like Marla. And Marla is documented as one of my altars. But that's what Brad Pitt did. So give it a thumbs up. I know this isn't something you want to give a thumbs up to, but it helps the algorithms. Comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell. And share so that there's not one more victim of human trafficking. Thank you.